It is mid-July in the garden, and boy, has so much happened. We have had a really busy summer, and I just haven't been able to get out to the garden as much as I would have liked to. And there has been so much pest pressure that a couple of our plants have died. And that is what we are going to deal with today. We're going to remove our dead plants, and then also I will show you guys how I treat our infected plants, but also our plants that have maybe some sort of pests on them, like squash bugs, stink bugs, armyworm caterpillars. As an organic gardener, I garden organically. I don't use any pesticides in my garden. I just value our beneficial insects a little bit too much. And so here I have two very natural sprays, and I will show you how I use them, how I make them, and hopefully you can get some help from this as well. This is one of the biggest examples of why I garden organically. We have so much beneficial wildlife in our garden. I just couldn't justify hurting this little guy. Look at him. I'll cover him back up now. So in our garden, I would say every year the biggest issue that we have is squash bugs. So here behind me, I've got my butternut squash. It's dying. It looks really bad. We've got some way back that have already died. We've got, I think, 2 on it still, but we harvested 1, and I'm trying to let these ripen as long as they can. You can see there's still even a squash bug on it, but these vines are definitely very dead. This year I am definitely kicking myself for not trying to spray earlier. I did hand pick for a long time, and I also attracted beneficial insects to my garden. So our assassin bugs, they kill squash bugs in larva state, egg state, and adult state. And I really tried to attract those this year, and I really do think that they worked for a long time, but eventually the squash bugs just became too much, and all of our assassin bugs kind of stayed towards this bed, where they were eating stink bugs instead of squash bugs, which is also good. They eat our tomatoes, and so we really do want the stink bugs to be gone too, but squash has just always been a problem plant. So here I have my squash bug mixture. It is literally just Dawn dish soap and water, hot water. I didn't think this would work. Nobody's ever suggested it. Everybody suggests dish soap and water for literally every other pest, but nobody's ever suggested it for squash bugs. I got really desperate and I was like, you know what, we're gonna try it anyways. And they died, like within a couple of seconds of me spraying them with this. I don't know why no one's ever mentioned it, but this, holy grail. This is an example from a couple of days ago. Sprayed, dead. So here we have a squash bug. Sorry it was blurry, I don't know why I didn't focus, but he fell. I can't find him, I don't know where he went. So with this spray, it's taking care of the biggest problem I had, which was squash bugs. Second biggest problem is these leaves turning brown. I don't exactly know why they're doing that. I'm thinking it's some sort of disease, especially looking at the bottom of these leaves, but I will have to do more research, and for today, we're just gonna focus on the bugs. So here is a squash bug. We're gonna give him a good spray. So here's another squash bug. We're gonna give him a good spray, make sure he's coated. Yeah, come here, fight me. I hate these things with a passion. And look. Just like that, he is dead, he's no longer moving, and he is starting to rigor mortis, I guess. Now I want to show y'all something that happened what seems like pretty much overnight. They were definitely not looking good, but they didn't look this bad. That is these cucumbers. They are definitely on their way out. I think we'll get one more harvest just from what's on here already. and that'll be it. I'm not mad about it. We've had a lot of cucumbers this year. It's just, you know, sad to see them go. These plants had a lot of squash bugs, and before I just would not hand pick them. It's so time consuming. But had I had my little dish soap water concoction, I think these would have been able to last at least another month. So slightly upset about that, but we had a lot of them. They had a good season, so we are going to end up taking these out at some point soon, but just wanted to show y'all what that pest damage looks like. I'll get off my dish soap water concoction soapbox in just a second, but I did want to mention that also that concoction saved all of our tomatoes. These are our tomatoes currently. There are many ripe ones. We've got some very large tomatoes. Very excited about those. And a couple of weeks ago, we would not be able to get one freaking ripe tomato. If you watched our June garden tour, you would know that I was really struggling with having a ripe tomato. They would all be punctured and rotten before we were ever able to harvest them, even if they were slightly blushing. And that was because of stink bugs. These little stink bugs look kind of like squash bugs, but they're a little bit smaller, and they would puncture holes in our tomatoes and in our peppers that we have behind there and suck out the juice, and it would make the fruit rot like crazy. And we had so many of them that we couldn't harvest a single tomato. And I mean, you can see now we've got tons of tomatoes on them, and literally none of them we could harvest. So what we ended up doing was pruning our tomatoes for airflow, but also any dead, dying, or diseased branches. And that helped a lot, as well as that dish soap spray. I mean, I came out here every morning, sprayed every morning, and it has just helped tremendously. Now this last pest is one that our frog friend is helping us out with, and that is our caterpillars and also our slugs and snails. We have had such a wet spring and summer so far that our slugs and snail population have just skyrocketed. They will eat holes in the leaves of our plants, but also in the fruits of our plants. So here behind me, I have all of our super hot peppers, or almost all of them. We have a few more in the far bed. But they will eat holes right through the super hot peppers. They're hot peppers even when they're green. But I guess slugs and snails probably don't have spice receptors. So our frog friend does eat slugs and snails, so I will leave that be for now. We have attracted frogs, we have attracted beneficial animals as well, so I will let them do their job. I won't spray because that could possibly mess up the ecosystem, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to kill our little frog friends, so I will leave that alone for now. However, when it comes to our caterpillars, I am going to spray using BT spray. This is BT spray, also known as Bacillus thuringiensis. Took micro and I still can't pronounce it. No, the first one's Bacillus for sure. I just got this one off of Amazon. It is for organic gardening, and the thing that I needed to kill is right on the front. This is an armyworm, not to be confused with a monarch butterfly caterpillar. I did make that confusion in my first year of gardening, and I will not make it again. I love our monarch friends. They obviously are very beneficial. They can wreak some havoc in the garden, but it's an ecosystem and I have to let it take its course to an extent. And so I will not be spraying for the monarch caterpillars. However, these yellow armyworms, I will. So you can see here, we have signs of caterpillars. That is caterpillar poop right there. And you can see the leaves have some holes in them. Quite a few actually. So I'm going to go looking for a caterpillar. Not a caterpillar, but one of our super hots are starting to blush. How exciting. So here I found a fruit that a caterpillar had eaten through, and it had fallen to the ground. You can see there's a big old hole in it. Possibly with the caterpillar still inside. Hold on. Nope, just kidding. But this is what we are looking for to confirm that there are caterpillars here. So what I will do is, because I cannot find the actual direct caterpillar, I am going to spray the entire plant, top and under the leaves, with our BT spray. Now, when this stuff is used properly, it will not harm animals, honeybees, any of our beneficial insects, but it will harm our caterpillars. BT spray works by covering the leaves and the foliage of the plant, and then the caterpillars will eat said leaves with the spray on it. Now, it won't instantly kill them. It won't, make them drop dead, kind of like our dish soap solution will. It takes quite a bit of time because it stops them from feeling hungry. It stops them from feeling the need to eat, and eventually they starve to death. It does take a couple of days. They are there, but they won't eat the plant anymore. And it's the best way organically to take them out. Okay. Gonna give everything a really good coverage, just because this was a really big worry for my boyfriend, who this is his hot pepper bed, and I want to make sure that we take care of the problem. Oh, look, you can even see back there, another one that the caterpillars had gotten to. Very sad, but we are fixing it now. That is where I'm going to call it for today. If you learned something, please remember to leave a like and comment down below and hit that subscribe button. And I really will try and post more, especially more regularly. I feel like I was doing every Friday, and now I skipped a bunch, and then I posted a Saturday, and it's just not very consistent, which I know is important, especially when it comes to posting and having an audience. So next up will probably be our July garden tour, which I am very excited about. We have had some plants die, but we also have a lot of plants doing really well. We finally have fruit on our watermelons. A lot of our tomatoes are doing really well. Our peppers have started to pick up. They're all ripening. We've had so many peppers, and so very excited for what's to come. And until next time, happy gardening!